Hi, my name is Jingjing. I am a filmmaker based in New York City, and today I wanted to talk about stocks because it's a hobby of mine and I think it's something that really any person should do, especially from a young age. I wish that I started trading stocks when I was younger and sort of learned the fundamentals of it earlier, but I'm in mid-age and I'm doing it now, so it's better late than never. I wanted to talk about stocks through sort of a female perspective and to talk about the psychology of trading stocks. I especially wanted to talk about women and girls trading stocks because I feel like it's not something that we do or something that we talk about. I really just know about one or two people who are women and female who actually trade stocks. So I come from an engineering background and now I'm sort of transitioning into the arts. And even in the engineering field, I really don't know that many women who trade stocks, and I think it's something that's important and girls and women should especially do to take control of their financial life. So I wanted to talk about women trading stocks today, but the stock market has been blowing up in the last few days. It's been really hot. It's been really great. I think I've seen some of my stocks spike by 20 to over 100 to 200%. And there's a reason why. It's not just because Biden has come into the presidency, but because of one very important group that I just learned about a day or two ago, and it's called Reddit Wallstreet Bets. So it's just been blowing up. It's a forum on Reddit, and they sort of created this group where they're like, let's buy these stocks, and they've been driving up the price of certain stocks. So GameStop went from like a few dollars, I think, to over $400 or $500 a share. They've also driven up the price of BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, Express, Nokia, and I think this other brand called Naked. So they've been driving up prices, and just to be fully transparent, I actually hold BlackBerry stock, but I've held that stock for multiple years. The reason why I bought BlackBerry was because I was actually playing kickball and I met some of the employees who work at BlackBerry. So I met some of the sales team at BlackBerry, and then I looked up the company and what it's doing now. So BlackBerry, we all know them as the Crackberry. They used to make hardware, so they used to make phones. But since sort of the rise of the iPhone and the smartphone, people have stopped using BlackBerry. But since then, they've sort of transitioned into a software company. And so they just signed a contract with Amazon, and they're sort of doing software for autonomous driving cars. So I thought the fundamentals made sense. At the time, I was buying stocks and companies that I thought were undervalued. And my philosophy for trading has changed year after year. The more that I learn, the more experience I gain, and the more sort of emotional intelligence that I gain in trading stocks. Because the calmer I am, and the way that I see money differently, and the way I see trading stocks differently, I can make better decisions. And it's not necessarily to control my feelings, but it's just sort of to understand my feelings and how to sort of learn from them. So yeah, so my philosophy and the way that I trade stocks is different today than what it was a few years ago. But I do own BlackBerry stock, and I've owned it for a few years. So when I saw it going up, I was pretty happy because it had reduced to a pretty low price in 2020 because of COVID-19 and quarantine and all of that. So I've been keeping track of BlackBerry stock, and it rose by 200%, which is an incredible growth. But so yeah, then I learned about Wall Street Bets, and they have this sort of YOLO hashtag that they've been using, and they've sort of collectively gathered together to buy certain stocks and raising the price of it. So they've also driven up the price of AMD, I believe, and a few other stocks. The problem is, because they've driven up the price of these stocks by hundreds of percents, The SEC is now looking at them. Biden is now monitoring this forum. And as a result of it, Robinhood and TD Ameritrade has halted trading of certain stocks. So right now, if you go on Robinhood right now, you're not allowed to buy any GameStop stocks. You can only sell what you already own. So I believe that this is really wrong because Robinhood has stepped in before the government and they're not really holding fiduciary responsibilities towards their traders, the users. And I think the reasoning is because there's a lot of volatility and that these prices are actually driving out hedge funds who are shorting these other stocks. You can probably have a better understanding of the technicalities through other forums and other articles, but that's my basic understanding of it. But philosophically, I support Wallstreet Bets on Reddit just because it's a group of people who are collectively gathering together and making individual choices based on their own free will. So the way that they're driving up the price of the stocks may not have fundamental supports, the way that you sort of learn about how you invest in a company because they have a certain amount of assets, a certain amount of revenue, a certain amount of debt. So retail companies are not doing well. We've seen that trend in the last 5-10 years, and we definitely recognize it, especially during quarantine because people can't really go outside as much. So really seeing the transition from sort of brick and mortar to e-commerce. But anyway, I am really disappointed in Robinhood, especially in Robinhood. TD Ameritrade, I think you might still be able to buy stocks, but for sure right now on Robinhood, you're not allowed to buy BlackBerry. And so BlackBerry was at about $25, $23 when the market closed yesterday, and now it's sunk to about $15 per share because no one's allowed to buy new shares, they're only allowed to sell their shares. Same thing with GameStop. I think the last time I checked this morning or maybe after market, it was around $500 per share. And now it's about $150 per share. So I think that Wallstreet Bets is really amazing because for the first time it's sort of a collective group of just human beings deciding to sort of work together in a way. And I've never seen a group this powerful, except maybe during like the anonymous group about 10-20 years ago. But they were doing something different. They were sort of hacking into these websites, which is illegal. But I think what Wallstreet Bets is doing is not illegal. They're choosing based off of their own free will, and it's just sort of showing that there's this collective power, and it's about people instead of sort of the traditional financial institutions, which I think is fixed anyway, and they have their own sort of insider knowledge. I'm not going to say insider trading because insider trading is illegal, but there is insider knowledge that these financial institutions have that we don't have. So I support Wallstreet Bets. The people in there are sort of crazy, but I believe in the philosophy of it, and I hope Robinhood stops and allow these people to trade their stocks. And I think maybe later on I'll make a video really more about how I trade stocks and about having a female perspective and sort of hopefully empowering more women to trade stocks, more just so I can have like more friends to talk about these kinds of things, because I think it's interesting, but in a way that's like supportive and sort of helping each other to grow financially, and not to like don't do that, you're gonna lose all your money, stuff like that, which I think is not conducive. A lot of people make a lot of money in the stock market, and I think women especially should take advantage of that and encourage each other to try and to learn, and not to sort of just say, oh, it's not going to go well. But anyway, that's my video today. I think it's a little bit all over the place, but philosophically, Wall Street Bets, I support you, and I hope BlackBerry goes back up, because I literally own that stock, and haven't bought any additional shares during this sort of volatility, this rise in the last 2 days, but I have been monitoring it, and it was exciting. So anyway, I hope you have a good day. You start trading in Robinhood. I hope that you stop preventing people from trading, and you actually have, just allow the government to do their job.